Hello, everyone. This is another episode of the Scaling Your Local Business Show. And I'm really glad to have Gaurav here with me. And we're going to have a wonderful conversation here today. Gaurav, welcome.
Thank you, Olu. It is a pleasure to be here at Scaling Your Low Business show. My pleasure.
Thank you. Awesome. So, why don't we just jump straight on? Tell us a little bit about how you became the product guy.
Yeah, good question. So, I'm actually somebody who's spent my entire career in the corporate world till 2023. I was part of big companies, small companies. I was in Motorola for a long time. And from I started my career as an engineer, and then within Motorola, I went from an engineer to becoming a product management person because I was more curious of why do we do things that we do and wanted to be closer to the customer and market. And when I made that switch, it kind of felt natural. That felt like my calling. However, big companies tend to operate slowly, so that got me a little disillusioned. And then I made a switch, and joined a startup. This was around 2007 2008 timeframe. If you remember, everybody was focused around mobile broadband revolution. So we were building something which everybody needed. The service providers around the globe, whether it's Verizon, AT&T in the US, or Vodafone's, Orange, KDDI. So working with global customer base, had a blast, and eventually we got acquired by Cisco. Cisco took notice, and that brought me back into a big company, which gave me a little bit of moment of sort of reconciliation. Okay, here I'm again in a big company, but I stayed, and I'm very thankful for that decision because by staying, I was leading product for a part of a business, and we became market leader in our category. So I ended up getting both sides of that equation in terms of taking a startup to an exit, and then taking that same technology with the big company name behind me and becoming the market leader. Eventually, in 2023, I did leave Cisco along with another of my founding partner, and we started this thing called Venturis Inc. We are focused on, we love, that's how I became the product guy, to answer your question. We love the product, we what we call the product S curve, the early stage, the innovation growth cycle of the product S curve. And we believe through our experiences, through big companies, small companies, we've actually acquired a wealth of differentiated product thinking knowledge. And now we like to use that to help other entrepreneurs grow and scale, or grow and innovate. And that's basically my journey. And that's how I'm the product guy now. And I also have a podcast called Venturis Stories, Navigating the Art of Product Thinking, where we talk about the product and everything that we do. So
That is amazing. That is and such a wealth of, experience and knowledge that you bring into from the big corporate
yeah,
companies into smaller businesses, right now. I think that is just amazing.
yeah, that's actually what we thanks. That's what we felt, that we've had this opportunity. And as I reflect back on my career, I've had these opportunities to have experiences which other people don't necessarily have had. Now it's time to, in a way, use that experience to help and give back.
That's amazing. Now, I know that, you and I were talking and we talked about how important mindset is
Hmm.
for any business to scale. And here we have local business owners, professionals, and that want to scale their businesses. Now, can you bring me into how mindset became so important for you?
So it has been something that has actually been important all along. However, there are two things that I would share in response to that question. One is actually a bit of a very personal story. I actually suffered a major setback at the beginning of 2020. I had a stroke, and as I suffered the stroke, that was a big setback. I used to lead product for a very large Cisco business unit, and kind of thought that I was in control of so many things in terms of my personal life, in terms of the business. I'm this person running this business. And then COVID happened at the same time. So this was Feb 2020, as everybody knows, the world stopped. So here I was, within a week, I could not even walk. The world had stopped. So I realized that I don't control anything. So that was a big sort of a step back failure. However, that's when I kind of used this mantra of failure is nothing but success and progress. And I really turned inwards. And as I applied that principle to my journey, I slowly would started walking. Then I recently ran a half marathon. So these small steps, and I'm actually the fittest I've ever been in my life. So as I've applied that to myself and I reflected back in terms of the business and building great products context, it became reasonably clear that with the right mindset, you can achieve anything. So that's why it became such an integral part. The second part related to mindset is I'm a huge sports fan and I love the stories of underdogs taking down champions. I've always loved that. And there is this concept that some people are naturally talented. However, if you look back at the champions, talent is there. They have some amount of talent. However, it is really their mindset and the discipline that they show up day in, day out. It is the preparation that goes behind the scenes, which is always what differentiates them. So that is one of our really underlying philosophies at Venturis. We both are huge sports fans, applying lessons from sports world to business. And we have developed a framework called Talent Across Mindset Framework. So for us, you need talent and mindset in order to be really, really successful. Be a champion in the sporting world, you need a combination of that, as well as to be very successful in business as an entrepreneur. You need to have talent, you need to have the knowledge of whatever you're doing. However, you also need mindset, the right mindset, the growth mindset, and because there will be lots of setbacks through your journey. Learn from them, grow, and you will eventually be successful.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing us in the journey. I love both, ideas that you just shared. I couldn't imagine having a stroke in the beginning of COVID. So it's like double whammy, like,
Yeah.
and you were able to move away from that and actually run a marathon. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I can see how this can help anyone, because if you have this kind of tenacity that brings you out of,
Mhm.
I love what you said, success motion. Did you say success in
Yeah,
motion?
failure is success and progress.
In
It's
progress,
actually, yeah, it's actually an Albert Einstein quote. Failure is success and progress, and that to me is the hallmark of growth mindset.
I,
Because
I
you will
just
have failures.
Absolutely. I just love that. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that on. And I see that as we're talking about this, I see that now that you've transitioned into this new thing that you and your partner do,
Mhm.
you've come up with all sorts of frameworks, right,
Mhm.
that can help companies scale.
Yep.
And one of them you were just talking about the mindset and the talent
Mhm.
portion. Do you want to go even deeper? What are somebody that is watching this right now and they're saying, okay, now mindset is very important. What are some strategies that you've come up with that would really be important for a small business owner to grasp? They can
Yep.
scale.
Yeah. So being the product guy and being so focused on product and helping early stage entrepreneurs, we've developed a few frameworks. One of the ones which is very, very applicable to an early stage entrepreneurs, and we normally talk about this from the perspective of product. It's called for product market fit. That's in any entrepreneur's journey. In the beginning, achieving product market fit is the hardest thing. However, as we talk to other entrepreneurs, we realized actually what we have launched, it is a services-based venture. We provide our services. We are not necessarily building a product. However, that same framework really applies to our own business. So we actually applied it to our own business, and that's where for most entrepreneurs who are in a services-oriented business, I think this would prove very effective, as we discovered through our journey. It's actually called, we call it a PM squared, Venturis PM squared framework. And the PM squared is because there's two P's, two M's. So it's, we love four quadrants. Most business oriented people love quadrants. So there's four quadrants. It's purpose, product, market, money. The way to go about any entrepreneurial journey, in our opinion, is start with the purpose. First, and that's kind of the question of why you are doing what you're doing. And we are huge fans of Simon Sinek, his golden circle. The moment you start with the why, you actually connect on an emotional level with whoever your audience is. And that's so much more important than, at this stage, that's so much more important than just throwing a lot of data and numbers. So that's the first thing. Be very, very clear about the why and the purpose, and be very clear about why you, why now. All of that is goes into the purpose. And for our own venture, in a way, when we looked at it and we applied it, we kind of say our why is, there's this concept of ikigai. I won't bore people with the details of that. However, it's really our why is trying to find that ikigai for us, which is about a cross section of passion, what you're good at, what world needs, and how do you make money. But everybody's why may be different. Find your why and start with that. The next thing is actually product, or the so in the context of a services business, the product becomes really a problem statement. It is what is it that you're delivering? And for us, people can go to our website and check it out. For us, of course, we come out as consultants, advisors. We also really view ourselves as fractional product leaders. So it was very important to define what sort of productize our service, in a way, create a repeatable thing that people, so every discussion doesn't start with, okay, yeah, you have a problem, I can do that as well. It is, here are 4 or 5 standard ways to engage us, and that is there on our website. Then comes the market. This is where now you're extremely focused on your customer, and you can do whatever market analysis. And at this point, yes, the analytics, the numbers in terms of what is the market opportunity, who are the people that you're trying to take this service to. For example, in our case, it is entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs looking to innovate. So answer will be different for everybody, but really very, very crisply and objectively define that market. And then the last quadrant is money, which is how does the money flow? At the end of the day, you are an entrepreneur. You're this to generate an income. So make the money flow extremely easy, where it is directly tied to the value that whatever your what statement, the problem statement was, it should be directly tied to that. And there shouldn't be any friction. By the time anybody has gotten through this purpose, product, market, money, and you put forth your offer in front of anybody, they realize, yes, you're delivering value to me. That's why you're asking for a money. And if it's a service-based business, likely it will be some kind of a recurring sort of retainer or contract, which the value should be very obvious by this time, and that's the money part. So that's the PM squared framework, which we have applied to our own journey, and we believe any entrepreneur can greatly benefit from this.
That is amazing. That this is and you know, when you started talking about this, I was thinking engineers, they must bring in some mathematics into their naming and all that. But yeah, this is so good. PM squared, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think going to your point about engineers, one of we help the tech entrepreneurs. And yes, I am an engineer at heart, a techie.
Yeah.
However, the reason I call myself the product guy and why we are focused on the product is because engineers tend to fall in love with solutions, waiting for a problem. And a lot of the current hype around Gen AI or whatever the latest tech hype is, there are lots of startups which get started and which fail because they are solutions looking for a problem. So we really, our approach is, to be successful, you have to start with the problem, and then iterate your way to the solution. That's the heart of what we call product thinking. That go identify the problem, identify the unique problem that your customers are willing to pay you money for, and then the solution can be, it may be Gen AI, it may be something else. Don't fall in love with the solution. Fall in love with the problem and figure out the solution. Tech is a means to an end. Tech shouldn't be the end.
I love it. I love it. Now, I really love the way you emphasize the fact that, a lot of entrepreneurs starts with the product because
Mhm.
it's like our baby and you want
Yep.
to, bring it to the world. But really it's much better, and back to what you were saying about the money. If you want
Mhm.
money to flow, you better do it in response to the market,
Yep.
not in from your own la la land of
Mhm.
creating products. So I really love that. And but I want to go now into a person that is watching this and they have, say, they are a
Mhm.
dentist or they are, a real estate agent or whatever, service business they're running,
Mhm.
and they're looking at, okay, PM squared. How can I use this to transition my
Mhm.
business and take it to the next level?
Mhm.
What would be your suggestion for them?
Yeah, so I think in any of those examples, this can be applied. The first is most of the services business, actually, the purpose is usually to help others do something, which is actually a great purpose. Get laser focused on that, avoid the distractions that may be there. And then in terms of, because you need to appeal to your customers about your purpose is your internal purpose. It's great to have a vision and the mission statement, etc. Then you have to turn that into a strategy of even if you're not doing a product, if it's just you're a dentist or a realtor, you break it into very tangible steps about what you are going to do to make that purpose real. And uh, in a way, going back to product thinking, well, this is not a product, it is service, but the three core concepts of product thinking are user centricity, business value, and iterative approach. That actually applies when you are talking about the product slash problem and the market money. Become extremely focused on the users. Be very, very conscious about what is the user problem, and ask yourself the why question. It's like a 5-year-old asks you why 5 times, and eventually they get to the root why. So start with that why and don't take the first answer. I keep asking them. There is actually a famous quote misattributed to Henry Ford. It is the quote says that if I'd asked my customers about what I should build, I would have built a faster horse, not an automobile. So really get to the bottom of what are they trying to do, what is the user's underlying core problem, get there, and from that derive a business value that you're delivering through the service that you're providing to your users. And yeah, iterate till you figure out the business value. Once you figure out the right business value, when you put forth an offer in front of them with whatever money, they would be like, yeah, sure, I get it, because you're solving a problem, a very pressing, urgent problem for me. Here, take the money. So that, I think anybody can apply that to this. Doesn't have to be a product person.
100%. I really love that. This, I mean, I'm just loving this conversation that we're having, and it's just bringing lots of light bulb moments for me, because for sure, if you know for real, and it's not necessarily what the client or the customer is saying, but you
Yes.
keeper and know
Yeah, you get it.
exactly what it is. I think that is brilliant. Thank you for
Mhm.
sharing that. And now I just like us to, as we kind of wrap this up, I'd like to know what are some, maybe give us one or two, one example of, some of your clients and what kind of results they can expect to get from you.
Yeah. So we work right now predominantly with techies, the tech sector,
Mhm.
and I think so. A typical example of our clients actually that we work with happens to be, there are lots of if you look at the last 20 odd years of tech, there have been a lot of tech businesses that have been created. Tech itself has become such a big segment, and there are huge IT departments of every business, small business, large business, and the tech has done great. I have done great myself, so it's all good. However, the tech is actually a cost center right now. Typically, for most businesses, everybody builds out their tech infrastructure. It's a cost center. The pandemic taught everybody that without the tech, you cannot really run your core business. So now there's this thing happening where that if you keep looking at the tech center just as a cost center, it actually hurts most people because you're just spending money into that. And with everything that is happening with generative AI and the power of the data, there is a lot of value in actually turning that tech into a value center where the tech is actually generating incremental value in terms of whatever it is doing to your core business, whether you are a hospital, a dentist, real estate business, factory building things. The tech should not be just a cost center. The tech should itself be actually a means to enhance your productivity of whatever is your core business that you're doing. So a lot of the clients that we work with are not pure tech entrepreneurs who are just working on building the next cool Gen AI app or anything. These are actually people who are trying to bridge this gap between, okay, build tech to solve the underlying customer problems. They really resonate with our frameworks and our messages. And from that perspective, actually, a lot of, while, yes, we focus on tech, however, there are lots of, we really want to focus on the underlying customer problem. So even the non-techies who have a problem and they have been just spending money on tech because they know they just have to use the tech. If they can really, we can help them really enhance their business in terms of stay focused on your core problem. The tech should be a means to an end. Tech should not be an end in itself is the type of clients that we work with.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Because of time, I'm sure, I'd love to continue this conversation, but I'd like to, just wrap it up and say, I know you have a gift that you'd like to offer our listeners. Do you want to quick talk about that?
Yeah, so I think the listeners can go to our website. There is, we have the various ways somebody can engage with us, and there is an ability to book a discovery call where I talked about a few of our frameworks like the PM Squared framework or the Talent Cross Mindset framework. There are a few others there. So depending on what they feel is suitable for their particular situation, they can book a discovery call with us. Me or my founding partner will show up, and we actually will do our framework applied to their specific needs. So we will work with them to identify their purpose, product, market, money. That is kind of the discovery process where we start with the discovery call and we get engaged. So the discovery part, they can book a discovery call with us and we go through the discovery process. That's the free gift.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And for everyone listening, we're going to put a link to the discovery session that you can have with Gaurav and his partner. Every business needs someone to come in and consult with them and show them, some of the things that they could do to go to the next level. So I want to encourage you, for those of you that are watching this and you'd like to take things to the next level, Gaurav would be, and his partner, you'll be getting a wealth of experience and you're going to be seeing the movements in your business as you do that. So, Gaurav, thank you so much for joining me today, and really glad.
Thank you, Olu. This was a pleasure. Really enjoyed the conversation.
You're very welcome. All right. Bye, everyone.